vocal harmonies. If you want your tracks to sound pro, you're going to have to learn how to do harmonies. Yeah, there are some plugins that can fake harmonies, or you can draw it in with Melodyne, which I'll show you how to do in a later video. But there's no substitution for real harmonies. And you'll also see I'm not harmonizing on every single word of the song. There's space that I'm leaving, and there's two different harmony parts that I'm doing. A third above and a fifth. And those are intervals based on the notes that I'm singing of the song. On the lower harmony, I'm only singing on very few words. And the reason I highlight this, when it comes to harmonies, it doesn't mean that you have to layer up all the harmonies that line up all throughout the song. Just add harmonies where you feel like it would make the vocal more interesting. Now, I see my level jumping. I know that everything's good to go. My level's good in my ears, so let's try to knock out some harms here.
Try not to, I'm probably thinking about you. Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about you.
Also, the first couple passes, I'm just trying to get the feel for the harm, knowing where I need to lean into the phrasing. And more than matching all the words and pronunciation right now, more than what I'm focused on is getting the note to hit on the right phrasing. With a background vocal, you don't have to over-pronunciate as much as you do for it to be as clear as a lead vocal. I'm just basically building almost like an instrument behind the lead vocal. That's the way I think of background vocals anyway. So I'm just trying to make sure that my phrasing is as locked in as it can be, just hitting all those same notes at the same time as the lead vocal.
Try not to, I'm probably thinking about you. Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about.
Awesome, I think I can hit that maybe 2 more times. We have enough to comp.
About you. Probably wishing we would come thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way we used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about.
Alright, I'm going to try to get all the words right on this last one, but like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, especially for just building out a demo. If you were building a master, maybe you'd want to spend more time on this. But for the sake of just teaching you guys, I want to show you that you don't have to spend all this time building backgrounds. You need to spend more of your time on the lead vocal, and then on these background vocals. If you want to layer more as you build the track out, you can always come back and, as you hear different oohs and ahs or sections, you can layer background vocals forever. So I just want to show you guys the amount that I usually put in for like a bare to get it at square one of where I like a production to be to add more.
I'm probably thinking about you. Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about you.
Awesome. I dig that. You know what? While I'm here, I want to go ahead and duplicate this. And I'm going to call it BGV2. And I'm going to hit this low BGV real quick.
Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me.
There it is.
Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what.
Just kind of take a minute and work it out. That's what I like working in my home studio. I can take as long as I need to work out these things. I don't feel the pressure to like deliver in a studio in front of another engineer and all these other people that are, that may make you feel like you need to over deliver. I hate that about recording. You need to be comfortable in your own space. So I encourage you, get comfortable with this. I started out and, I still struggle to record and get the tones and sing the way that I hear it in my head. But I don't stop. I keep trying, and, I have a bar that's set that I know that I'm going to reach if I just keep my mind set to trying and having enough to comp and learning how to get better. That's the only way you can get better at these things. So I felt that was important to throw in. Let me go ahead and take a couple passes of the slower harm.
Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, 'cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about.
Again, if I'm making a double, I want to make sure that I have enough of that.
Thinking about you. Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, 'cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about you.
Awesome, I'm happy with that. And for the double's sake, I'll go ahead and duplicate this track. That way we can hear what that'll sound like. And I'll run that same part again.
Probably wishing you were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, 'cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about you.
Awesome. One last one, so we have an option to comp on that second pass.
You were someone thinking about me. Probably wishing we were kind of how we used to be. When we used to be so good, yeah. Probably thinking about that way you used to kiss me when you really kissed me back. Girl, there ain't no way that I'm forgetting that. It doesn't matter what I do, 'cause no matter what I do, I'm probably thinking about you.
Awesome, I'm happy with that. Most likely, you can get away with flying chorus 1 to chorus 2. I always do that. You always want to look for the way the artist gets out of chorus 2. Usually it's a different melody or something if it's leading into a bridge or a solo section of the song. So you want to make sure that your harms are aligned with that, but I'm pretty sure that I can fly these choruses, or I can fly these harms to each chorus. So that'll save me having to redo all those harms that I did, especially if you make some crazy stack of harms that's really locked in. Save yourself the time and just fly that. Don't feel like you have to sing every chorus section. If there's parts that are different, just address the parts as needed, but don't overwhelm yourself with singing every section of the song over and over. Now that I listen back to it, most of this song in particular, I could fly most of these harms throughout the whole thing. So it's not going to be a lot of tracking the same parts over and over more than it is adding different parts. So I think I want to add a different section here. Maybe if it's just a mono vocal, it's a background vocal that's just basically singing you with the hook, but in a different way. I'll show you what I mean. You can do that right there. Just call this U vocal. You. That's all I want to hit. Take that a couple more times.
What I do, I'm probably thinking about you. So I get fading away.
It'd be something maybe cool verbed out in the background, not like a lead thing. Let's take one more.
I do, I'm probably thinking about you. So I get fading away.
So we're producing these backgrounds to where you're not only just harmonizing with the lead vocal, but you're adding little, bells and whistles to the, I guess like the sonic palette of what that vocal can be, because you can affect these vocals different, you can verb them out, you can layer them wide. They can have different dynamics within the same song. So you have your lead vocal and your background vocals. How do you separate those? Don't just feel like that they're two things that can play together the same way. I would encourage you to see what kind of contrast you can find with them. If I verbed out a single background vocal, well, maybe I need some drier, wide harms. So as we get into the mixing and comping stage of this, and I'll fly most of these vocals around, I'll get it set up where everything's locked in, and I'll see y'all when we get to comping up this vocal.